Okay. So does that then come back to me, Steph?
Yep. So we've got people joining us now.
Yep, I can see that. Welcome to those of you who are just joining. We're just going to wait a minute or two and give everyone a chance to jump on. For anyone who's not joined us before, we're going to run the virtual open home as a webinar. So you'll be on mute. If you would like to ask any questions, we're happy to cover them off during the presentation. So please make sure you pop those into the chat. You can do that either anonymously or as yourself, and we will make sure we cover up all those questions for you. If there's anything we're unable to answer, we'll come back to you after the webinar. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of how we're going to run this today, if you haven't participated in one with us before, I'll basically bring up a number of images about the property and talk you through in a little bit more detail some of the elements that are perhaps not immediately obvious. I'll then take you through the actual virtual tour. So we'll be able to see some angles that you can't see in the images, give you a chance to, as I said, ask questions. I can talk about the area, cover off anything about the market, anything you like. We're here for a good half an hour, so pop any of your questions in the chat. You're welcome to pop those in now if you've got some burning questions already, and we'll get underway in a minute. Just a little introduction to our team while we're waiting as well. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dione Wilson from Harcourt's Melbourne City, and today I've got assisting me Courtney Lettieri and also Rhiannon East, both sales agents in the team. We also have, she's not visible to you, she's doing some work in the background. We've got Stephanie McKay, our administrator. You may hear her voice pop up. She'll be reading out any questions that come through from you. And if you're already working with one of our agents and you have questions, please feel free to reach out to them. Otherwise, there are some details here on your screen which you'll be able to contact as we finish up. All right, well, I think we might make a start. We've still got a few to come, but they can catch up as we move through. So best place to start is with our beautiful facade. So the really unique thing about 422 Collins Street is it actually has a front facade and a rear facade. So this is the front facade that faces 422 Collins Street. Just off to the side here, you have the William Street tram stop. So it's super convenient for moving around the city. You don't have to go far. We are also right opposite here, the new W Hotel. So the big, gorgeous Pants Legs, as it's affectionately known, Collins Arch. It sits just right opposite us, and we get to enjoy a view up Market Street, which has now been turned into a park. So we don't have that view from the apartment, sorry, I should just specify, but from the building, we look up Market Street and you have the beautiful park. You can go across, sit, enjoy some sunshine. It's also smoke-free, which I think is really nice for the city. More and more of the city is becoming smoke-free. So it's a really pretty place to go and sit and enjoy the outdoors, and also the amenities that surround the W hotels, little cafes and bars and things like that in there as well. The building was built in the 1920s, so you can see it's a really beautiful facade, and it is quite unique as this is one of the only buildings that I'm aware of that has actually put almost as much money into its rear facade as it has its front facade. So it's really attractive from both sides. Depending on which way you're coming home, you can come either in off the Collins Street entrance, or you can come here via Little Collins Street. And to put you sort of, for those who know Melbourne, to give you a bit of a landmark, we're right opposite the RACB building here. So just to give you a bit of an idea, you can zip out Little Collins Street and head straight down into the city, or you can pop out the Collins Street side, jump on the tram, whichever you prefer. It's really nice that they have maintained a lot of the original features. You'll see here, which is slightly back to front because of the way the photo's been taken, but this is TC. That stands for Temple Court, which is the name of the building, and that motif runs right throughout the building. You've got these beautiful marble stairwells as well. Now we do have lifts that service the building. There are 4 lifts, 2 at the front entrance and 2 at the rear entrance. All of those lifts were upgraded about 2 years ago, so they're all brand new. And the good thing was as well, the building actually has quite a good handle on its budget. They were able to fully replace all 4 lifts without any increase or like special levies. So nice reasonable fees and without any increase to the special, no special levies. So that's a really nice feature for the building as well. Once we come down the hallway, we step into the apartment. The apartment has a slight little entrance hall, and this is really the first wide view of the apartment that you get as you step in. It is a really generous size, so it's a nice space to enjoy, and you can see that you can zone it off. So this is obviously your main room. Got plenty of room for a dining table here. When the stylists put this table in, I was a little frustrated, to be honest, because I thought, oh, you wouldn't normally put chairs that you can't tuck under your table. But in actual fact, they've done us a huge favour, because if you look at the width from one side of the chair all the way across to the other, plus the width of the table, you can see that if you wanted to, you could almost put a much, much larger dining table there and still have ample room to be able to move around. So the piece actually really works to show the size of the apartment. The kitchen, which we'll have a closer look at shortly, is the original kitchen. It is in quite good condition. There is a little bit of delaminating on the cupboards, which is quite common for the age of the building. You can have them re-skinned, or many people have completely taken out the kitchen and rebuilt all their cabinetry, redesigned their kitchen. You might want to put a floating island in. You might also want to wrap the kitchen around the side here and do like an L-shaped kitchen. The beauty is it's immediately functional. It serves its purpose incredibly well, but there is also room for you to put your own stamp on it if you wish as well. So moving a little closer in and actually getting to appreciate the living zones, you can see here that we've actually been able to set up a working space at the back, as well as having huge, really generous living space. So you can really spread out and enjoy the space. When I was looking at this property when we were allowed to inspect, I actually sat here one day and I'd made a mistake with an open home. We'd loaded a little bit early, we weren't quite ready. We hadn't loaded it online, but I thought I'll just come and sit just in case anyone that I've mentioned it to pops along. So I brought my laptop and I just sat here, and it was raining and there was beautiful light coming down through the windows, but you could also hear the rain landing on the little tin roof outside. And it was just so beautiful. I could have sat there and worked all day. It was just such a lovely feel in the apartment. And I guess that's something that we want to help you appreciate from this virtual inspection. You know, the images are great. They do show some personality, but they don't really show you how a property feels. And this is one of my favorites. It really does have a very warm, welcoming feel. And yeah, I could very comfortably live in this apartment. Just appreciating from a different angle. So nice, big, beautiful heritage windows. They are the original casement windows. So these are metal frames. These do open, they push out, so they pop out and lean out on an angle so you can get fresh air in. You do also have these doors here, which are sort of like French doors. They open in, and then you have this little feature here, which is the metal feature, which is original throughout the building, which essentially stops you from falling out. But you're able to open it up and get that nice feeling of fresh air and ventilation in. The apartment also has these original sprinkler pipes that run all the way through the building. So some people paint them up as a feature. Some people leave them white and sort of have them disappear into the ceiling line. You can do whatever you fancy. They are a working sprinkler system, so they do need to stay. That's the main thing to note. They're there for your protection, but give it that sort of warehouse industrial edge, which is really popular. Another shot there, just appreciating the windows again. And there you go, you've got the doors there. Interesting point to note as well, just in terms of the building itself, if you happen to crack a pane of glass, or if one is cracked, obviously some of them are still the original glass, that is something that falls under the owner's corporation responsibility. So we actually had a panel down here replaced just prior to coming to market, and that was done under the owner's corporation. So it was nice and easy to organise. We just set it up and sent them the invoice. It was super easy. Just appreciating, so we're over by the desk now, looking back. This is sort of like an internal light court to the building. You do still get really beautiful light that comes in through here. And yeah, much nicer than some parts of the building are completely bricked in. This one is open at the eastern end, so you do get really lovely eastern light in. And this is actually the rest of our apartment over here on this side. That's the bedroom that we'll pop into in a moment. Gives you a little bit more an idea of the kitchen. So as I mentioned, if you wanted to replace your cabinetry and reconfigure it, you could definitely do that. Again, popping the island bench in or wrapping around here, you could definitely do that. Gas cooking, which is a huge bonus. A lot of the heritage buildings don't provide for gas, so that's a really great feature. This is a pull-out pantry, so you pull it out and it's got all your shelves down the side there, so it's fantastic for storage. The bedroom that sits just off to the side here is the one that we'll have a look at next. So the bedrooms are really generous in size. This is a huge room. That's a queen size bed. You can see decent sized bedside tables, and there's still great clearance on either side. Huge row. This one is a half row. You do have your hot water system sitting in behind here, but still ample cupboard space in there. It's really nice and deep. You've got lots of space to work with. So this is your bedroom we were looking at from the living room. So it looks out to the east. This is the back of Bank Place. So here, so just on the other side of this, you have Bank Place running through. This is a heritage building that sits out in Bank Place. So it's quite an interesting sort of, it's private, but also an interesting outlook. I think this room has a really beautiful vibe. I think the color certainly adds to that. The carpet is probably ready for someone to change up, and I think someone might take a beautiful timber board all the way through. The boards can be refinished out in the main living area, but I think someone will probably go take a new board all the way through. When we get to the virtual tour, we don't actually come into the bathroom, unfortunately. It was one of our earlier virtual tours and we didn't we missed this room. So this is a good angle to sort of have a look at and just appreciate the bathroom. It's clean, it's functional. If you wanted to redo your vanity unit there, I think that's something that would be you know, a great asset to the bathroom. But again, you can move right in and be comfortable in here. The laundry sits just off to the side here in like bifold cupboards. A lot of people have replaced those cupboard doors. In fact, I'll show you here on the floor plan. Some people have popped in, just left it open as a sort of an open cavity. Some people have put sliding doors as opposed to a bifold door. So this is what we're looking at here. I'll see if I can just make that a little larger for you. There we go. So these doors here. So some people pop sliders on, which just then obviously keeps your passageway free. So it's a really good size overall. So the first angle when we came in, obviously we were looking down here. And then we stepped over and looked back this way into the, out of the windows there. I'll just take you through as well. A lot of people query with us the, make sure that comes over. So a lot of people query information about apartments, very commonly things like owners corporation fees, size of the apartment, a price. All the information is available on all of our listings. You can see here, this is our price guide. So on this one, we are looking at offers between $580 and $620. And then if you scroll down a little bit, these are your comparable sales to help give you a guide around how we arrived at that price. And then this is additional information that's important to the property. A statement of information is a statutory document, so it is new legislation that it must be provided with all listings. It doesn't usually contain this much information, so we provide a lot of extra information that we believe is helpful and essential for people to know. But if you do spot other statement of information that don't have it, don't be alarmed. It's just we like to provide the extra. So you can see here, apartment is 67 square meters, really generous size, as I mentioned, for a 2-bed. The council rates are 1,166, water rates are 667, owners corporation fees are very reasonable, 3,600, and your total fees for the year, 5,450. This one does have a tenant in place. The tenancy runs through until February next year. So if you are looking to purchase, you can buy now, but you just need to be aware that you would need to honour the end of that tenancy or try and entice them out, but you can't force someone out. You would need to give them appropriate notice. So you'd need to give them at least 60 days notice, but not before the end of their lease in February. You can serve the notice now, but they would not need to leave until February. Just going to take you in now and we'll do the virtual tour. Just while I'm getting that set up, is there any questions there, Steph, that anyone has?
One has come through there, Dione. Is there car parking available in the building?
So this apartment does not have car park with it. There is car parking in the building, and some apartments do have car parks. A lot of them are on separate title. So sometimes they do sell separately, sometimes they do lease separately. There are also a number of portals that you can look at. findacarpark.com.au and Parkhound are two sites that deal in the sale and lease of car parks nearby. And I do also think that the building across the way that I mentioned earlier, Collins Arch, I think it's likely that they may come up with some spare car parks. I believe they had some spare ones when they were selling off the plan. So there may even be some right across the road that you could pick up. I always recommend people lease one, the perfect one, and then put your parameters in and wait for the perfect one to come up that you want to buy nearby. Okay, so this is our website. For those of you who haven't navigated directly to our website, underneath the images, you have your floor plan, which we've had a look at. And then underneath that, or next to that, we have your video. So the video is actually a virtual tour. So you can take yourself for a walk through the property. Some people get a little bit lost the first time they use it. So I'll give you some tips as we go on how to navigate it. So that way, if you do want to come back and revisit this virtual tour, or any of the others from our website, you'll be able to do that. So it'll drop you into a room and you can literally click your mouse and just start to drag around. You can look up, you can look down, you can have a really good look around. So it's essentially a 3D view of the apartment and you can literally walk through. These little buttons will help to navigate you through into each of the different rooms. So I'm just going to take you back out into the entrance hall. So this is actually where you come into the apartment. So we come in here, and don't mind this, it's not a weird part of the apartment. It's just a little glitch in the way our virtual tour didn't quite meet. So it is a normal passageway. It's not Alice in Wonderland. And if you pop around here, you've got your bedroom off to the the right, and then you've also got your other bedroom in here. I have actually seen some people change the door configuration on their main bedroom and put it on this side, which can actually look quite good, particularly if you follow this kind of glazing pattern and put a sliding door on. Equally, you can do that on the other side. You can change your door configuration. And particularly if you wanted to change the position of your kitchen, you might want to change the door location for your bedroom. So we'll pop out and have a look into the main room first. So I've kind of gone a little bit further than what I wanted to there. Let me just pop back. Might not be able to, I'm going to have to go all the way, sorry. So I was hoping to just show you in here, but I'll zip over here and we'll spin around the other way. All right, so this is the room that we were just looking at. This is where you could potentially change the position of that door. So you might be able to increase the glazing there and then close this off and actually wrap your kitchen around here if you wanted a really substantial kitchen. There is room there, of course, if you want to do just a little L shape and still add an island or something, but you can see that it actually does give you some options to really play with it. And depending on your lifestyle and where you need the space, you can make it work for you. The old round sink, it's the original kitchens from 20 odd years ago. They all still have those. This is the original uplighting as well. This is probably ready to be updated. The electricians, when they changed the globes, said that they're probably reaching end of life. So you could either look to new style of uplighting or you could put some track lighting into the ceiling, depending what you want to do. I do love the effect of the uplighting in these older heritage apartments. The shadows that play off the sprinkler pipes and things like that and off all your cornices and things is really quite pretty. But it depends again on how you like to live and how you like to have your lighting. You could always put your lighting in the ceiling and then have lamps to create that same sort of mood effect. Lighting's not so good in this particular video. It flares out a little bit, but the light is more true in the photos that you see. So popping into the bedroom. So as you can see here, really good size room. It's a little bit distorted there just with how I'm maneuvering, but it's actually a really lovely size. And this bit here, as I mentioned, is where your hot water system sits. So once you open that up, there's just like a little white panel that sits there that you would unscrew and access the hot water system if you need to get to it. And then the rest of it is all of your robe space. I've got enough dots on this one. It makes it a little hard to navigate. All right, so then this is into our second bedroom. So again, really good robe space here. Nice big robes. Got your mirrored doors there. And again, a really good size. So plenty of room to move around. You know, if you're into a share house situation, you don't have to fight about who gets which room. They've both got lovely qualities. And as I mentioned before, I won't be able to take you into the bathroom, but I can show you from here. So that gives you the glimpse of the robes, the bifold doors that I mentioned. So that's your laundry in behind there. They are quite big and they are the original doors. So a lot of people have converted them into simply 2 doors that open up as a cupboard. That works too. Or they've changed them and put sliding doors on. I've seen some people do mirrored sliding doors there to give yourself a full length mirror if you don't want to have mirrored robes in your bedrooms. Lots of things that you can do, all in really good condition, but just a little dated, so easy enough to change and update if you wanted to. You know, it's a super easy little renovation for someone if they're a bit of a novice and want to dip their hand at a renovation. You know, you don't have to do a lot. A little bit could make a big impact in this space. And it is just a really pretty space in a beautiful building in a great location in town. Any other questions come through there at all, Steph?
No further questions.
If anyone else does have any questions, please feel free to yell out. Otherwise, I'll wrap up in a moment. But yeah, happy to cover off any questions regarding the apartment or the market or anything that you might like. Question we did get yesterday, which might be relevant or might not be, is can you actually make offers on properties during lockdown or sight unseen? Yes, the answer to that is you can. We do have contracts for this property. It is a really nice, straightforward document. There's nothing to be too worried about in terms of the paperwork. If you were confident with the apartment itself and wanted to make an offer, what we're recommending to people is just to pop a clause in there that you've got 7 days from when we are able to inspect to pop through and just cast your eye over it and make sure it is as you expect before you go unconditional. So it just means that, you know, you've got that little bit of peace of mind that you're getting to walk through the space before it goes unconditional. But yeah, really cute, super cute apartment. I love it. All right. Well, if there isn't anything further, I hope you guys have enjoyed taking a little tour with us. Thank you very much for joining, and we hope that it's helped you be able to move forward with your property research. And if you do have some further questions that you perhaps weren't too keen to ask on the webinar, as I said, reach out to either Courtney or Rhiannon or myself, and we'll be happy to cover off those questions for you. We do have these virtual tours available on some of our other properties as well. So if there is anything else that's caught your eye and we haven't had one already, let us know and we'll get you registered. Or if it's one that we've already done, we'll be able to share that webinar with you. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic property journey, and I wish you all the best, and hopefully you can secure something nice and soon. Talk to you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.